we're going to talk about the fact that Twitch is going through major layoffs right now, which I think anyone could see coming with all of the problems they've had recently, constantly changing policy, implied nudity, and all of the various things they keep trying to put into effect, none of it seeming to work. How do you feel about this?
I just feel nothing. I am numb and dead inside.
Well, you're kind of directing more focus to your YouTube channel, it seems.
Yeah, I mean,
than your Twitch, even though you're still active on Twitch.
Yeah, but not to the extent that I was before. I honestly, if I were to say the best streaming platform out there, I would say Twitch, hands down. They have a good interface. It makes sense, it works, but their business practices are trash. Their community is trash. And like, I want to love Twitch, I just can't do it. So I'm not surprised by the fact that it's seeming to be sinking right now.
It says that they're cutting it by 35% of its workforce. That's extensive.
He said, unfortunately, I regret having to share that we are taking the painful step, we believe you,
I'm sure,
of reducing our headcount by over 500 people across Twitch. And he also, in the same stream, admitted that Twitch is not profitable and Amazon is supporting it. But that, like, why would the strategy be then to make it less habitable for advertisers by allowing basically porn to be on the homepage?
Yeah. Well, the question is,
how is that the move?
The question is that actually less habitable for advertisers? I guess it depends on the advertisers.
Depends.
I mean, my theory with them introducing like this free-for-all and then reversing it only a day later was that they had their advertisers reach out and be like, hey, we're pulling out unless you change it back immediately. That was my theory about what happened. But then they banned implied nudity just a couple of weeks ago again because people started doing the censor bars trend.
Look, I always appreciate the ingenuity of these ladies to just find ways around the rules.
But they keep flip-flopping, and it is really confusing because then Dan Clancy just said they might change their artistic nudity policy again in the near future. He said, upon reflection, we've decided we went too far with this change. But then he said, it could be reconsidered once we have the ability to blur thumbnails and for viewers to say, I don't want to see sexually themed content. Those are two things we're working on. So I guess that he feels really strongly about artistic nudity.
It's his hill to die on.
Yeah, that's the hill you're dying on.
He's like, look,
try dying on the hill of like making a profit, you know?
I just think it's weird. Like, most companies would be seen as unstable to see this many drastic policy changes this often. How common was that back when you were using the platform as regularly?
I think maybe it was common. I just didn't notice it until I got canceled because I sort of was just going with the flow. And then it was only until I started butting heads with people on the platform that I'm like, oh, wow, this place is a dumpster fire. And then I started noticing, wow, a lot of the top creators are just girls in bikinis in jacuzzis sucking on microphones for content. And I'm like, how did this happen? I wasn't paying attention.
But when you say that the Twitch community is trash, I know we're going to get into this more later with the documentary, but can you like elaborate what that means? Because I'm not familiar with the Twitch community or the culture.
So it's funny because earlier we were talking about how companies, they'll try to say like these are our values. Like I think
there's those words again.
I think Twitch is in particular a company that tries to impose values on the community. And this is why if you go to the homepage, you'll see drag queen stuff. You'll see like trans stuff, like Black Lives Matter stuff. So it's like they're trying to cultivate this sort of woke community. And then if you're not in lockstep with it, you're not with the in crowd anymore.
The fascinating thing is that like you can go on Twitch front page and see Hassan on there having a political stream talking about like outright political ideology, and you would never see someone on the other side of the political aisle being allowed to be on the front page of Twitch talking about outright political ideology.
Weird how it's kind of separated. Now it's like Rumble is like, most people understand that if you're going to be successful on Rumble, it's the other side of the aisle, right? Like unless you have the built-in right-leaning audience, you're just not going to get the success. on Rumble that you might be able to have on YouTube, and certainly not on Twitch, where someone like Hassan would make a whole ton of money by streaming all day talking about political discussions, and that sucks because it would be nice to be able to look at him right next to I don't know, like a Ben Shapiro stream. That just seems weird.
I don't think so.
He doesn't stream on
That
Twitch.
would be
That would
hilarious.
be insane.
Well, I'm
though.
saying does he like, because his episodes are, I guess, are just broadcasted live, right, or like
I don't know.
premiered. But I would love to see him stream games.
You got a
Play Minecraft.
$20 super chat from Disco Jensen saying, we're serious about Buffy, right? No takesies, backsies. Yes, I understand that you're serious. You've made that abundantly clear. However, you can't put a deadline on me because that's a long season to get through. So, but I promise that I will if we get to 10 today.
Yeah. I think you'll like it.
We'll see. I'm not going to make any commitments one way or the other. But it's funny how Eric July was just telling us that, like, Disney is the sugar daddy of Marvel, and, like, Warner Brothers is the sugar daddy of DC. And I guess Amazon is the sugar daddy of Twitch.
Yeah. Well, Google is the
at
sugar
this
daddy
point.
of YouTube.
Well, it's,
And-
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the DC and the Marvel ones aren't really like 100% one-to-one comparisons because they're owned by that company, but they're
Yeah.
IP and not like a platform, right? I guess you could say that, like, if Marvel had an app, then it would be the sugar baby of Disney. But
Yeah.
really,
Well, this whole thing of like Twitch not being profitable, like YouTube, I don't even know if YouTube is
not.
profitable.
It's
Yeah.
not.
I don't think
So
it is.
Google's been doing this forever
Yeah.
with YouTube, and yeah, I guess it's never been profitable for them, but they're still doing it for some reason. I don't.
It's not profitable to let people speak and express themselves.
Twisted Jack says Ben with black bars would have been fun.
Oh, no.
This is $20 one here from Pat the Plumber. Says, I must go, but let's not forget Buffy, fellow Crisis actors. You can do it. Yes, Ben with I don't think Hot Tub Ben Shapiro episodes would have the audience that they want, but that's just
I don't
me.
know.
I
Could be
could be
bigger.
completely wrong about that. What do I
Didn't
know?
you see all of those Ben Shapiro thirsty fan cams that he reacted to? Like, there were actual Ben Shapiro thirst TikToks.
I guess a better example would have been like Hassan next to like a Brett Cooper. Like she would fit more with that style of streaming
Content.
and stuff right there. Yeah, but most of that stuff, I mean, even her
But she's
stuff
not really
is
like
also-
a political
they're-
pundit.
They're still pre-recorded, most of their stuff. I can't think
Yeah.
of. I guess Tim. What if Tim went to Twitch and started streaming
could
IRL
do it.
every night on Twitch?
Tim could do it. Why aren't we on Twitch right now?
No. No. We don't use Rumble. Like we should be using Rumble, but we don't. But yeah, like for all of this stuff, I see a lot of it is just these industries collapsing because it's always YouTube hasn't been profitable. And I always wonder for somebody like Twitch, like what do they get more revenue out of? Is it from the advertisers or is it from taking 35% now off the top of the creators?
I thought it was still 50%.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So is it higher than that?
It
now?
might be.
think
I
that
think
number's
it's a little
going
bit
up.
It's going up
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because of their interface and because of all the incentives to support a creator, they make a lot of money just by taking money from the creators themselves. And I don't think a lot of people, especially if their dream is to become a top Twitch streamer, they don't know that they can probably make more money on a different platform, just putting in a little bit more work. So they stick with Twitch.
Okay, so it said 50%, but so it says the 70-30 split was part of the new Partner Plus program, which will apply to streamers' net subscriptions revenue from recurring monthly subscriptions and gift subs. But once $100,000 is netted, the split reverts to 50-50. That's a lot.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, dude. Like YouTube
crazy.
takes 30% from, on top
Yeah.
of everything that we do here. And that's a lot. Like that
Got
adds up.
another
Yeah, it's a lot.
$20 from DC&C. Buffy season 1 is only 12 episodes. I don't even really like Buffy. It's okay, I guess. But any chance to bully Mary, I'm here for that.
Well, that helps her. She's only going to have to watch 12 episodes.
That's a relief, actually. Yeah, and then another $20 from Incompetent Hands. I didn't mean to derail the show. What is this?
Giles.
Giles refers to himself as a patriarchal figure, and it's regarded as a good thing. It was a different time. If you think I'm annoying now, wait until I want you to watch Firefly.
Well, that's only 12 episodes, too. 12 or 13
Okay.
episodes, too. But also, I still like to point out all the time, Giles, he's just an adult hanging out with kids all the time. Nobody questioned it back then.
Normal.
It's totally normal.
Why would we now?
Eritaz
Right? What's
00
happened recently?
sent another super chat. Buffy, what is this? FUBD? I don't know what that means.
See, the problem is when you ask
also,
those questions, I always think I'm like, what am I the unhip one? I don't know.
I don't know.
Tim on Twitch with black bars instead of a beanie,
Oh,
Do it.
censoring
Do
the
it.
balls. And then another one from These Bitches Want Nike said, for Buffy, also, have you guys talked about Green Day's recent onstage cringe? The past few years, I've been so ashamed that they were my first favorite band in like 2004. Anyway, word up.
How do you guys feel about that?
it's so stupid.
Yes.
It's so weird hearing all of these bands that I grew up with. It's like they would always sing about like being against the system, and they're literally helping the system.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
Well, but I actually don't think it's as surprising because most of them back in the day, I always use Rage Against the Machine as the example, meaning that they were always leftists in a country that was, for the most part, still fairly neoconservative in its political leanings. So they actually were against the system back then. Now they're just embracing the fact that they've become exactly what they push back against now. But they haven't ideologically changed. They're the same people they were. It's just that the culture in the country has changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what machine are you raging against?
Yes.
'Cause
I
they are
think
raging
they went
against a
further
machine.
left over time
And
as it
a lot of
became
people
more
believe
socially
that,
acceptable.
the band members are true believers, but Tom is not. That he's more about the money and the recognition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think he might be running for office.
Zach De La Roca has always been a hardcore communist.
Yeah.
Like from the very beginning, he has been about communism, and so none of this is surprising. That as the country becomes more and more leaning towards communism, that they're actually raging for the machine as opposed to against it. But yeah, you're right. Their ideals haven't really actually changed. It's just the name doesn't fit anymore.
$20 one here from Disco Jensen says Twitch is a haven for groomers and unemployed mental cases. Smaller normal streamers get pushed down in the feed too. All the degeneracy is pushed to the front page. It's more a tool to manipulate the youth than for profit. Well, a lot of those companies will look at what they want to push on people and make the decision that what they get out of it is worth more than the money that they lose. Just like we were talking about with Disney.
For Amazon especially,
That's
like
just depressing.
Twitch is just a footnote to Amazon.
Was-
It's neither here nor there.
Was Amazon the one that shut down the servers on Gab?
Yes.
Huh? Really?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that lets you know where their
And
value is.
Parlor. No,
Parler.
wasn't that
Or
Parlor?
Parler.
Yeah, not Gab.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Remember Parler?
Oh yeah, I remember.
I remember when Kash Patel was here and he was talking about Truth Social. I'm like, bro, I'm not signing up for Truth Social. Like, I can't do that.
Is there still a waiting list?
I have no idea. He's like, I can get you on. I'm like, maybe next time. Like,
I got the hookup to get you on
basically what he
Truth
says.
Social.
He's like, I can get you verified on Truth Social. I'm like,
Wow.
Any truthers in the chat?
yeah.
I'm on there.
Do you read Truth
You are?
stuff?
I'm like, eh.
That's
So-
the tough thing, man. You need a good product
Yeah.
to bring people on.
So it's just crazy that these companies can operate like with that much of it, because these are massive operations to not be profitable. Like, it makes sense for smaller things, right? As you're building a brand out and you need to make something profitable over time, but the whole entire operation, which costs billions of dollars a year, and they're taking 50% on top of it, like, was that something that you had to deal with on a regular basis? Like, you're like, oh, I made this much money, but then you're like, oh, after the split, you're not
Taxes.
taking nearly as much.
I didn't really think about money all that much. I was like, as long as I have enough to pay my rent, I'm good. Everything
bills.
else, I just bank it.
Yeah.
We've got another $20 from Not That John Stewart. Ruining Brett's fun now. No
Nope.
People's Joker.
No, you do not get to preemptively do that, my friend. I apologize. But to be fair, nobody has sent the super chat igniting or like initiating the watching of the People's Joker. Have you seen this?
I've heard of this.
Okay. Well,
Shane had tweeted something at me about the People's Joker, and I didn't know what it was.
Tacti or somebody has to formally request that we watch it, I think, and then we'll watch it.
Sure.
But we won't do that
Just
unless
have it pulled
somebody
up
does it.
in case
I
we
do.
need to.
It's-
Okay, yeah, you already were expecting it.
I've got it pulled up here. We'll be able to watch it if we have to. But yeah, so I look at these companies doing this stuff, and it really does feel like cultural, like they're doing it to change the culture.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Tacti Plati said lies. I did, Brett. Tacti Plati did formally request the
Well,
People's Joker.
We'll have to wait until we get there. If it's in a super chat, we'll have to wait until we get there. So.
Oh no.
I guess so.
How would you like if you could like? Do you use Kick?
what the heck is Kick?
It's another streaming platform.
Oh yeah. No, I have an account. I just reserved my name.
Yeah.
I don't
just
stream on there.
Hold on to it.
Yeah, it's weird. All of these platforms are literally carbon copies of each other.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very hopeful for Rumble. Like, they've made a lot of changes in the last couple of months that look very promising. But for the most part, you can't just make a new platform to compete with the platform that people are leaving that literally just looks like you're using a different skin.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.